These days, fuel injection is pretty much standard equipment on all new cars, but in the 50s, it was primarily reserved for airplanes and race cars. That's why it was such a shock to the automotive world when, in 1957, GM dropped the Rochester Ramjet. While in modern cars, we use computers to determine the air and fuel mixture, GM had to figure out how to do it mechanically. And so to do this, they used an air meter, which these days we would call a throttle body, and a fuel meter. The Rochester is a constant flow system like a Hillborn, but instead of a simple pill in the return line to regulate fuel, the road-going Rochesters needed more sophistication. The complexity that these systems became famous for is primarily found on the fuel side, which uses a series of floats and plungers to regulate the flow to the nozzles, return line, and the fuel level in the reservoir. A regular old mechanical pump feeds the unit, and then a distributor-driven gear pump pressurizes the fuel before it's dispersed to the nozzles. Instead of modern electrical sensors, Rochesters had to rely heavily on vacuum signal to determine how much fuel gets added to the mixture. This very car was one of the test mules that was used to prove that the Ramjet system worked. This 57 Corvette was one of 3 test Corvettes fitted with a prototype Rochester Ramjet and then sent to the races to R&D the system, under the watchful eye of the legendary Zora Arkus Duntov. When Rochester fuel injection hit the showroom, it was available on Corvettes and full-size Chevys and Pontiacs. Automatic transmission cars could only be ordered with a hydraulic lifter 283 that made 250 horsepower, but manual transmission cars like this 57 Bel Air could be had with a hotter solid lifter cam, making it one of the first production cars to achieve the magical feat of 1 horsepower per cubic inch.